everyone hear me? See me? Y'all want please turning off cameras. It does help me feel like I'm talking to someone. You are welcome to open, ask questions or anything like that. This is gonna be more of a Q&A. I might go through everything, but I'm just gonna try to answer the things people want to know. Everyone hear me? All right. I'll start right now. Give me just a second. A little bit about me. I've owned a print shop for several years. I've kind of done all kinds of custom work, anything from laser engraving, printing, stickers, all kinds of different things. So I've kind of seen a bunch of different processes. All those processes suck to kind of do the manual way with Lone Star and everything. I mean, not Lone Star, but with Photoshop and all that. Just setting up your Lone Star material or whatever you need to do. It just was hard to figure out, like, hey, this is a tri-layer, this is a dual layer, stuff like that. So I just tried to create a process originally for that, and it has turned into quite a bit more, and this is what it is. So let me share my screen. Everyone see my screen all right?
Yes.
Cool. Let me open this chat so I can see it. Okay, I didn't see the chat. Now I do. 1 second, let me grab a drink. This is I changed up the the home pages and the market pages for certain reasons. It's kind of copying me. So we switched everything up. It does look a little different. Everything's the same. There's a few new options with with everything because some people don't know how to do it. But there's your typical trial that everyone does. But if you want me to basically set up your entire store, make sure everything's done right, it'll just be like a $500 charge. I'll set it all up for you. That's not the best picture of the patch. I need to change that out, but I'll fix that. So we'll go into login. Sorry, I was looking at print. Another thing is, like, we set up my whole shop up with a camera. There's probably like 10, 15 cameras through here. We're going to start live streaming every day and then putting out like an episode every week, kind of like the NTV Shops thing. And really going over a bunch of this stuff, like actually how to do it and everything. And so be on the lookout. It'll be on a few of our pages. This is going to be your main home page. It's where you land when you get in here. It kind of tells you everything you need to do. You can schedule an onboarding call with me if you want to, if you have more questions, or you just want to learn something, whatever. let me know. You get a free 30-minute session with every account, so you can go over one-on-one with what you're having problems with. These go straight to the builders. All the builders are basically the same except for minor changes. Because that's what something I've noticed with doing all this is you have to create your image first and design, and then you have to go over and put it on a canvas. So I made a image builder and a canvas builder, which is right here. So you get your image builder, your canvas builder, your mockup builder. It's real simple. And then these other things are just kind of added extra stuff that you can put on your account or you can use to your benefit. And the goal of this was to replace as many other tools that I was using for my own shop, all in one place. And this is kind of what I came up with on using on what I needed, and it just works. So first thing you're going to always want to do is do your image builder, and I'll actually go to that first. Really, first thing you want to do is set up your account. So you have a profile, you can just set your name, everything like that. You can get XP. We're going to do giveaways of certain things, so make sure you set this up because there is a leaderboard. And so you want to get on the leaderboard and everything, and then we'll do just different kinds of giveaways and stuff like that. A lot of people don't have this set up. Make sure you set up your profile. So we'll go back to the image builder. We'll start with the UV print. All these are just, like I say, you're building the image. You're not building the full, canvas, everything like that. You're not putting it on anything yet. You're just building your main image. UV print, you can go to the patch builder, the UV print builder or templates. I don't know if these are all out yet. They will be soon. But, this is going to be to build a patch. It's, it has the material attached to it. It has, so right here, the image builder, the UV printing, the patch builder is always going to have some sort of material on it. The UV print builder is just going to be a blank open space, so you can prep your, UV print for whatever you want to put it on. It's just basically getting your image ready. It's more or less Photoshop and, Illustrator and all those combined in one place where you don't have to have a bunch of different things to figure out. But it's very similar to this, just no background. And then templates are going to be different templates uploaded in here. You can actually pull them open and design on them, and then you'll have the proper sizing and everything like that. The this person. So these are going to be different templates you'll have available. You can just open them, grab a template, start designing on it. And this is coming soon, so I'm not going to go too much into it until I go over the patch builder, then y'all can ask questions and we can look at some later. So right here is going to be your patch builder. We're in UV printing mode, so everything's going to be full color. It's not going to be laser engraved. It's not going to be reactive to the material. It's going to be printing right on the material. So we have all this library. I'm going to add a lot more that you can use for your own designs. You can start. Oops, not the best one to use, but you can start with any image you want out of our library, and then you can go and take it through here and do whatever you want with it. You can make adjustments, so you can turn on AI right here and add your current canvas, which brings whatever you're working on over here, in here, and you can say change all the white to lime green, and then you go down here, generate image. That recreate button does the same thing, but typically if you type something in right here, you want to put this one down here because it's pulling in your text as well. The recreates if you pulling a bad image or something, a picture you have or whatever you just want to create. So there, I created turn all the white to lime green, completely new image. And then it's the same thing. You can just upload an image. You don't have to use the AI. So the image uploads the same thing. You can go over here and you want to clear your canvas, clear your text if you're doing something new. And then you can always go over here and press clear canvas. or refresh works as well. So we'll just pull one in right here. We'll pull in, our mascot, for example. It has a black background. It's not the best image. So then we'll go to adjust, we'll go to remove background. So this is going to replace like photo room. Let me see. I don't know why that would be doing that. I'll try to fix that blurriness, but I'll still go through the process, but I don't know why it looks like that. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. It does not look blurry over here. But I'll go through the process again. If you need me to go deeper into anything after, we'll stop and we'll kind of go through it so you can better see it. And I'll try to make it more visible. So you can remove your background. You can upscale your image. This image is pretty good, so it doesn't need to be upscaled. But you can pull in a bad image and upscale it, and it's going to make it look really, really high quality. Remove watermarks. Put filters on. Do different stuff you want to do with the colors and stuff like that down there. So once you get the adjust, you adjust your whatever you want to do, you can go to effects and you can literally use any of these effects. A lot of people have a lot of fun with this because you can make 40 different versions of one logo or one image. So there's brush. You can make more than 40. You can make thousands of one logo and just doing it over and over again. There's all kinds of preset options too here for a bunch of these. And you don't have to, go put a prompt in to try to figure out how to, on ChatGPT, how to delete the background, make it good for a patch. There he goes. It made it, what I told it to do. I like that. I can go up here and, start and add it to the library. Or you can go up here and type, barbershop, generate your own themes. There's a barbershop theme of our patch logo. Same thing, you can save it. Looks like the savings thing in a second, so I'm gonna look into that. Write that down. It's taking a little longer than it should if it is even doing it, but I will get that fixed. And anything you do find on here, if it's a bug or anything, message me, directly on Facebook. I don't care. I'd rather know what's happening and get it fixed than anything. So yeah, it does look blurry. I don't know why. I see how blurry it is now. Sorry about that. I'm working. Trying to see if I can clear it up for everyone. Give me just a second. Seconds. What? see if you'll fix it real quick. Sorry about that. Let's see. All right. Let's see if it'll clear it up. We shall see. Sorry about that. Trying to see if ChatGPT will fix it for me real quick. So you can put all the effects on here. You can save them and everything. Once you figure out your image and go through it and kind of like get what you want, you can also remove the effects. Go back to your original. You save stuff right here. You can name every one. If you changed it, you wanted to rename it, you could put see what it's telling me to fix real quick. So I see what it's fix this. I think I know how to fix it. Give me 2 seconds. Is that better? I don't know if y'all can see that any better. Cool. Okay. Now I'm loaded. Okay, sorry about that. I had to figure that out because I want y'all to see what I was doing. So these are, the effects, everything like that you need to see. Let me see if I can switch this one. Fix this other one. Okay, should be fixed all the way around now. Sorry about that. These are once you figure out your image, like I was saying, you go through your image, you upload it, you do whatever AI you need to do to it, you remove the background, and then you do the effects if you want them. You're going to move on down the patch. So this is, what you're visually seeing on the back is the patch material. It does not come out on the mockups, or any. I mean, on the design files, because we produce design files and we produce mockups. This is simply for mockup reasons only. Make sure no one's joined. This is for mockup reasons only on here, and so this is what you would send your customers so they can see. This is what you would use on your hat mockup, whatever. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you bring in here is kind of figure out where you want your margins, and then your cut lines here. You can turn it off and on. There's no need to have it really off if you're doing patches. It's just for the other features in case you just don't want to cut line or you do. It's you can adjust this as well. You can make it negative, and then that little inside shape. If you click that button, it'll knock out the inside shapes as well. That doesn't look good, so we're not going to do that. So once you do your cut line, you figure out kind of what you want. You're going to go right here and you can choose your shape. So you can keep it a contour shape. That's what they all start at. Or you can go, any of these, rounded rectangle where you can, fix your corner of your round a little better. So you want it more sharp. However, and then if you want, your person in the middle, with contour, the outside moves around the image. With shapes, the image moves inside, the shape. And then here's your sizing. Once you get here, it's going to choose 3 is going to be your larger size, so it's going to be obviously this way. You can change it. It's just going to change the margins, but it does change the size, but doesn't actually change the image you're working on. Aspect ratio is locked and unlocked. You can unlock it and push 2 there, and that's how you would change the shape of it, and then you can lock it back. And then you can go through here and choose any kind of material you need. All these are going to be the tri-layer acrylics, the dual layer acrylics. It's just going to this is going to be your material. The first color is going to be the material, color. The second color is going to be what it engraves to, which is irrelevant in this matter because we're printing on it. And then these are, your leatherettes are all here. Your, everything. I put, most of the Lone Star stuff in here and a few other ones, but I try to get all theirs because I do like their brand. You can upload your own materials as well. I'm not going to do it, but once you get your material, you can move over to borders. You can type on, turn on your border. You can do a marrow. This is basically faux stitching. You can move it where you want from the edge. Put the thickness, put the spacing if you want, more defined ones. You can change the color of it, add a secondary border, whatever you want. You can add as many as you want. And then backgrounds. Backgrounds is going to be, it's pretty obvious backgrounds. You would just go and choose, whatever doesn't work right, but it would go edge. Oh wait, edges. Sorry. It's doing something kind of funky. I'm gonna look at this when we get off of here, but it should move it back and forth. I was changing stuff. Oh wait. Refresh that. I don't know what's happening. I will try again. But again, if you find stuff that needs to be fixed, let me know so I can go fix it. Oops. Try it again here. So yeah, this is how it's supposed to work. Is you put a background on here, you can pull it in from the edge if you are away from the image. So if you want like a little border around your image, or you can pull it on the edge. I think I just had that all messed up last time. You can pull it in from the edge if you want, and then this is if if you're printing on. Why a lot of people buy like white is you can go over here and get white and change your background any color and make literally any color patch you want from white heritage, and you just put your cut lines on there, it prints this red, and then you have a full color patch. So that's the backgrounds. Layers, a lot of people have asked me to go over this, and it's pretty easy, but you just turn it on, and now everything's going to be in layers. And so you can either go find the individual shape over here, like if you want just this right there, you can click just that and delete it, or make a spot channel. I don't know where I put it. Or you can change colors of it, you can erase it, you can do whatever you need, to mimic the design how you really want. I'll go back by color. You can hide, just the pink, show the pink, erase it completely, so it's not even on your image anymore. You can change colors to, you want to change it to blue. You can add a spot channel, and what that's going to do is put just that file output of just that color, nothing else. So if you want to do like a raised texture, you'll have, just where that's blue, that'll be a file. And it says right here, one spot channel detected. You can do an eyedropper if you can't figure out what's what. You can literally press that, just go, click it. It's going to show you what color it was and all that. And it's, it's basically vectorized right there. Over here's how you can charge if you're like at an event or at your shop. You can literally just type up your quote kind of right here. You have to have your your partner store attached so that you can actually bill for it. You can choose where you export all your images. I don't know why it's doing that. It's weird. Um, you can go over here also. I'll go back to that. I don't know why it's locking it. Probably not seeing something. Right here, you can add different text on top. You can go and put another image on here. You can put different shapes. So if you're making like, earrings or something, you can do, put that transparent right here, drag it up here, go to render cut line. And obviously the red wasn't filled like right there, but we can go back and fix that background. Go back to elements. Now you have like, a little hang tag with the cut line inside. You can add QR codes the same way, and a lot of this stuff's here because it works for stickers and everything. You don't have to make, yeah, you can make a layer clear if you want with it. That's the best way to do it, or white. But so you can put a QR code here, add it to your canvas, and again, a lot of this stuff is for stickers more or less. Put that right there. Render cut line. Now you have a new cut line. You don't have to go to Photoshop or Illustrator or anything like that. It's all ready to go. It's buzzing. And then you finalize your design when you want to lock all that in. You can put a watermark on it. You can add barcodes, whatever you want to do. So from here, if you wanted to, download to a certain place, you click here. This is if you just want to add it to a cart and charge someone. This is if you want to download the full mock-up of, the background and everything. It's going to give you a file to send your customer. You can literally go and switch. They're like, hey, I want to see it on, champion red. There's this color. Download mock-up. Send them that just like that, without having to redesign or do anything. Some of these, the background's a little better than others, but and then you can, right here's your export production package. So you press that. You want to always name it because it's always going to show up just like that with the time, and it gets super confusing. Yeah, with the spot channels, it is as easy as doing that. And I'll show you another trick here in just a second. Actually, right now, you can choose your destination. CYMK for print. These are all the files I'm going to get of that. Here's a depth map. So if you really want to do some textured patches, get the depth map. I'll get those two. You choose which file output you want that. Because it's not laser engraved, it's not going to transfer over to this right. You can get your UV make PNGs, your whatever you need to make it work. I typically use these because I have to use main top, so we have to put a W1 channel on there. So that's what this would be right here is the W1. There's your tolerance or your contraction of the W1. These are kind of redundant. I keep meaning to remove them, but I haven't. Because they're actually right here in those. So from here, I'm going to export. And keep in mind these are your design files, except for the mockup. It's not going to show this holographic. It's going to be a cut line and then whatever you're doing here. So it gives you a full set of everything you need. Oops. There's going to be your W1, W2 TIFF file. This is what I would throw right into main top for me. I'll open it in Photoshop so you can see that all the channels are on there and everything. I literally only have Photoshop for demos, so I can open it up and show people the channels. I do not use it for anything else. And we do a lot of print, lasering, and all kinds of stuff. So there's your image, for print. There's your W1 and W2. When it converted to CYMK, so the color does look slightly different, but it's proper for printing. You can keep it in RGB if you want. Again, there's both your channels. So you don't have to use Photoshop. We have DTF stuff on here as well, so you can use this for DTF with the W1 for your printers and all that. This is going to be slide. your combined SVG, so that your cut file and your your image in SVG. This is going to be your combined PNG. All those are cut file and image. This is just your cut line. So I would use this in Lightburn or whatever I was using to cut my patch. I would use the SVG file, and then these are going to be your depth maps that I was talking about. So if you really wanted to do like texture, you do this depth map, and there you go. You can print that with like white or clear or whatever a few times, and then you print the the solid color image on the top, and you have your depth textures all done for you. So, let's see. And then the same thing. This is graphics only. Here's your mock-up of the patch and everything. So you get all your files. This is the spot that you're asking about. So let me see. Your file spot. Get my eyes sometimes. So there's the spot channels of just that color we chose. Nothing else. It's just that till. So yes, you don't have to do all this stuff in Photoshop. It's one click, add the channels, add the depth map. Here's your library. It's going to be, where all your stuff is essentially at. And I suggest don't be like me, make folders and everything and organize this. Then push the store function. So if you wanted to sell this patch on your store, you literally push the, you press the push to store, give it a name, choose your store, name whatever, categorize it however you want. And this is going to push to my Shopify store and my Patch It Up Pro store, which I'll get into here in a minute. File alone, yeah, you can sell the files too. We email them to the person so you don't have to. So we handle all that. You just upload your images, push the store, set these parameters on, and then when they buy it, it pays you for your files, and then it emails the files from our system. There's no size variance on this, so we'll push the store. So I'll show you that here in a minute. Just remember we did that. Any questions over the UV printing side of things before I get into the laser engraving? Don't be afraid to ask. It's a lot going on, but I want to make sure everyone knows what they're seeing. Okay, there's no questions or anything. I'm going to move forward. Laser engraving, like I was saying, all these image builders are the exact same for the most part, except for slightly a few little different things that make it for that decoration process. But the process is all the same. Build an image, put it on a canvas. Build an image, put it on a canvas. So right here, the patch builder, same setup. I'll go choose a different. And there's all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna add more. I have a lot. I've literally bought designs and used designs and made designs for years. I have a designer that worked for me for like 5 years, and his job is literally spit out like 20 designs a week. And I haven't even put those on there. So we'll do this one. It's on the holographic material again. Everything's the same, so I'm not going to go through this, all the adjustments on the images. I told you the price was currently yeah, I told you the price is not bad. I found for what I'm giving you, the $80 a month to host your entire shop platform, your CRM, your partner store. You can put your websites on here, which I'm about to get into. You can do everything. Like it handles your entire shop, every aspect of your CRM, your quoting, your all that. So once you got your image right here, the only difference is when you go here, you have to engrave it first. And so it's not going to let you do anything else until you engrave. You can do a basic engrave, which is just, the two-tone more or less. And that makes it where when you go to the material over here, it, let me see, not a better one. These are my materials, probably not the best. But it switches now because your laser engraving, it'll switch the material, and the color you're engraving is the second color or the third color, which I'll show you here in a minute. But the second color is going to be your deep color. And then on tri-material, I should click these. So you literally can go in here, just download mockup, go through all these, try lots of different colors, glow and dark, green and gold, green and white. A lot of them are black because that's just how it happens. But you get the gist of it. There's lots and lots of different options on that. It's just the leatherette. And then acrylic is going to have all this, you have your dual colors, and then your tri. Your tri is going to be, that's going to be your material color. This is going to be your light layer, which I'll show you in a second, advanced engraving. And then this is going to be, what this color is showing up, your deep layer. So that goes red, and it has, the shiny acrylic has a little shine to the back of it, just so you can tell it's on acrylic. Okay, so now let's say you don't want, you want the tricolor, you're going to switch that off. You're going to switch to this. It always does this, makes it all solid one. You can, put remix right here, and you can literally remix your lines with, different depths and find the one you want, and then go back over here to material, and it's going to, what happens, it defaults on dual materials to just the single color, but then you can go over here and press this remix button next to it, and it'll, that's how you always kind of get it back on when you're on advanced, because everyone's going to be different. So you want to hop over here, and you can switch out between any of these however you want, and then find the one you want. Since it's now laser engraved, you can pull it over, when you export your package, you can click light burn down here. It's going to give you a light burn file that has the layers separated into 2 different fill layers, and then it's going to have, your cut line. It's going to be, labeled layer 1 fill, layer 2 fill, and then cut line. So everything goes into light burn, ready to engrave. Everything else on that is based. Oh, sorry, I spoke too soon. So if you change the shape, let's say you go to rounded square, and now when you do your backgrounds on material, when you go do your backgrounds, you can add a background. You can add your own. I'm just going to use one of these. Fire. It puts it in the back, and you can put a little buffer around your image if you want. You can insert from the edge, same thing. But the difference here is you can now put a knockout effect on it, and you can adjust your sliders, your pattern scale, which is your dots, and then you can actually engrave your background however you want behind there. And then again, it's not going to cover up my image. I can make it go right to the image. I can make it go under the image. So if you click that, it's going to fill all the way behind it, and that gives you your protective border. And so you can make really, really, really cool background, engraved background things yourself. You don't need Photoshop. You don't need all that stuff. Just go over here, pick your background, choose your, put the knockout effect on there, and then adjust it to where it looks good, like it would engrave, and then it's going to engrave all those little dots and actually make that image. So that is the laser engraving patch builder. Again, this is the image builder, so you would just, if you don't want a background, you bring it in here, same effects. That's how all the other ones are. You're just getting it ready for laser engraving. I gotta kind of adjust that because it doesn't have material, but you go over here and choose different templates. You can go make a depth map right here. This is still, everyone can't get to this. I'm just showing you, because again, it's still kind of being worked on. Yeah, I'll have to fix that because I've messed something up, I think. Oh, it's, anyways, we'll come back to that because it's still being kind of worked, but I had it right. I guess I messed it up. But DTF is same sort of image builder. You upload your image, same sort of situation, get your image already, except for, you know, the material is going to be your shirt color. You can throw it on here. You can add a knockout effect. Hey, I want to choose this blue that's right here. The blue that was there. I want to knock that out, or choose this white so everything shows through the blue. And then you can go through here and do your tolerance on how much you want on it, your softness. You can add effects if you want to that. You can do it to the whole thing, so you can do the full image if you want to. And same thing, you just kind of get your pattern, and this is how you would make your your DTF softer, or however you want. You just play with it, kind of get them to where they have a little breakout, knockout effect. Just gotta play with it. I'm just sliding stuff. So that would be kind of the DTF prep, same thing. Embroidery, same thing. Stickers, literally it's the exact same thing as the patch builder, except for your material right here is going to be, I gotta go change add the material back, I guess I believe. But there would be material right here, and you just choose your material, and it'll be like glossy, whatever, glow in the dark, however it is. I had it on there, I guess I believe, or I hid it. That's probably what I did. And then 3D builder, there's a 3D builder on here, so you can go and do your 3D printing, go and prompt it however you want to put something out. And then it'll be like a vectorizer tool and screen print, but I'm not going to go into those because they're both under being worked on. So the canvas builder, this is how you're going to lay out your stuff for print and cut. You can choose your size up here. You can do custom size. You can do kind of a rolling game sheet. This is going to be your spacing in between the images. Your sheet margin is going to be this red line right here. It's your safety zone. You can switch your background if you're working on white images to see them. If you wanted to print all black or all white or whatever, you could press that, and it would include it in the production file. These are just resolution indicators for your images, saying if they're good or not, if they're whatever. And then this is going to be your registration marks. You can turn them on and off for a print cut. You can change all sorts of things about them, change the type you want, change the size, add a new one if you want to. This is if you want to show the cut lines. If you're printing on a flat surface and not doing print to cut or anything, you don't need the cut lines. You can turn them off, but most of the time that's going to be your cut lines. So then this is where you bring in your patches to the actual, the patch builder. So I can type like 5 here, add. It's going to add my patches right there. 5 of these. It's going to try to, it's going to try to do its best. It's not perfect always, but fix this. I would really just move them however you want. It's really easy to configure everything like that. And then if you draw your image in, bring one in. You can also click it in order to bring this up. You can change your adjustments and everything, and you can just column it out and do rows like this. Put your gaps in between however you want. What looks good. And then lay out your your sheets and everything to print. Same thing, you could change your size. So like if I wanted it real tight, I could go tighten the size in 11 inches, and it would pull it up back here. Typical, just sheet canvas, canvas designer tools. Same thing over here. This is what you would charge for this sheet if you were based on your parameters you have set up on the back. You can preview how it's going to come out print, what it's going to look like. And then you can export your production package. It's just saying, I have that hanging over right here. I'm fine with it. And doing these production packages are bigger, so they take more. Switch it CYMK. There's all the stuff I would need. I would only really need for me would be these files and this file. I would take that, print that, take that to Lightburn, line it up with my print to cut, and use that. I don't need anything else for any of this unless I'm doing something specific. If I was laser engraving the whole sheet, I would obviously get that file. You don't need the print to cut. But this is going to be the whole sheet canvas. It's not going to be just one image. All right. Any questions over the canvas builder stuff? And there's a few of them. There's DTF, UV DTF, stickers, banner builder. Which the banner builder is probably going to move over here. But any questions over any of that right now? I'll go grab me a drink real quick. Sorry, I lose my voice talking so much. Okay, so from here, there's no how well with the X tool. It works pretty well. There's actually an export feature, I think. Let me see if it's still here. That it exports into. It works well with export X tool. I have several users who use X tool. Let me see what's on the image builder. Yeah, so you can do this X tool creative space if you want to just get your XCF file or XCS. I don't use X tool, so I'm not like real friendly with it, but a lot of people I do that use this use X tool. And they, some people just told me they just use that. I don't know too much about it, but yeah, you can do round dots. I don't know that much about those files, but you should be able to, with these files, you should be able to put them on almost any program you need to. 2 seconds. Sorry. So yeah, you can put them in any file. I mean, it should work for anything. If it doesn't, message me and let's get it worked out. Let's get it further on there. Because I don't want anyone to help me, being held back because it doesn't work with their machine. The whole point of this is to go from design to machine very easy. So I'm gonna go in the mockup builder. Which you see on the mockup builder, we have hats, laser engraved, UV print, which they really can be the same thing. It's only for the online tools I have that, which I'll get to in a minute. But we'll do the hats for now. All these are coming soon. You can go choose your whatever hat you want. Look at the views, choose your front, use the save patch, one of the patch we made. This is for mock-up purposes only. This has nothing to do with your design file. It's just a heads up. So let's change that to a 2-inch. This is just what you would send your customer. If you're happy with that, you can. This has kind of been. It works, but I don't really like how the outcome is. But it'll make like a 3D, like an MP4 of it spinning with the patch on there. in a 3D mockup file. Still want to make it a little better. So if I wanted to, like, same thing, it's exact same, push the store feature, exact same thing, I'll push it to my store. Store, rainbow. Probably saw good. I'll probably delete it later, but that's as easy as it is to pushing a product to your store, like your Shopify store or whatever, your Patch Up Pro store. You can download the mockup right here. Send your customer if you want to see it. There it is. And then you can, copy your mockup if you just want to go paste it somewhere, or you can save your mockup to your library. So that's kind of it for the hat mockup. It's real cut and dry. Just pick this and put your image on there. The DTF will work on the shirts and stuff like that. And then from here we have the photo studio, which you can do all your mockups in. There's our hat we just did. You can go click gift box, or you can type down your own scene down here if you want something. So essentially this replaces like photo room. There's that. So you can go put some overlays, put the logo on here. Right here. Right here. There. Add some text if you want to, whatever. You can also go over here and put your quality if you want a better output, fix different things. But then we don't make you pay for the premium model. I pay for it for you. But you can go and do the premium features of Photo Room as well, like put it on an actual person. So there's the mock-up of him with a person. I could push that to the store, save it to the library, do whatever I needed to do for the mock-up. This over here, put some text right here, and then use that as my store thing or whatever. Same thing, save it to library, all that. So here's your library. We host everything for you. So I actually did organize it last night, but all your stuff would be here, from everything, from your game sheets to your hat mockups, your studio mockups. If you save them, they're not going to pop up unless you save them. Like I didn't save that last mockup we did, so it's not popping up. And that's how you get to all your stuff on here. And I'm gonna put a Google integration and probably Dropbox so that you can actually save it on your own, backup if you want, or however you can use your own. Create a patch from here. So, all right. That's everything of the, what we call the standalone, which is the tools that, you can get this person. This is the standalone, which is all the tools that you use for your shop, stuff like that, to create, build, and design and everything. We're now getting into the partner stores, which is all the Shopify stuff that everyone's kind of been waiting for. And I finally got it all mailed out. So from here, everyone gets one free store. I had it where it was a activation, 49. It actually shouldn't say that. You should have a credit up there if you have an account. You can buy an extra store for $49, and so anyone who bought one already will have a credit, for one store. They can open a store, and then they'll have a credit if they want to do another store. So you can, set up multiple brands for yourself. You can set up brands for others, and fulfill it for them, manage it for them, do all that. If you wanted to add a team account, it's $9 per team member, and they, you can put them either as a team on your shop, so they have their own little shared space where they can build and do everything, because you can only be logged in on this on one, per user, one computer. But if you have a team account, that's 2 users, 2 computers at once. But you can literally go and close that window, go to another computer and open the window, and you're there. It's just not going to let you be logged in at both, just to prevent people from abuse. And then again, if you had like a customer that you're managing their store, you just pay $9 a month. You could charge them $50 a month, whatever you wanted, your own terms. And then you come over here, set up their store, and sell all their stuff for them, they would only show up in this store, not in your actual shop. And so here's going to be your dashboard. This is going to be, essentially this is what Shopify kind of looks like. If you get the app, it's more or less this within the app, and it's how you manage everything. This is your dashboard just to keep up with stuff. This is just analytics. So your team workspace, anything you assign to people, because you have a team, it will pop up here. Your stuff will pop up here. You can keep up with it. Yeah, come talk to me. If you are at next level, definitely come talk to me. I'll break it all down for you. You can figure out. And there's affiliate plans and everything on this, so it's a very good one. It's 30% of the recurring monthly. So I'll get into that here in a minute. But here's your your tasks basically for your team, that you can keep up with everything. You can have an internal chat, you can have group chats, whatever. You have QR codes where you can create to go to certain things you need done. These are going to be all your orders that come in from your stores. You can go and see all the details. I ordered 2 patches. I ordered, I think, like 3 of these patches and 2 of these just as a test order. And it came through. This would be my production files if I wanted to just download the SVG. But you can get all the files in the actual production, which I'll get to next. This is how you manage everything. I had a 2-way sync from Shopify, and someone pointed out that they didn't like it, so I took it off. So the only thing that's going to be in here is going to be your Patch It Up Pro products only. It's not going to show any of your other your Shopify store stuff. It's not going to do that. I liked it for me, but I didn't think about all the customer base and all their stuff being exposed over here. So we turned it off yesterday, and only Patch It Up Pro stuff's in here now. Production queue. This is what happens whenever you get an order. If you want to assign it to someone on your team, keep up with where you're at with it. You go in here, you can open up, you can set the status on like where it's at with whatever. There's a preview of the order. You can assign it to different people on your team to make sure it gets done. This is how many quantities of it. There's your production files. There's your QR code if you need to find it. You can print these things. You can make notes on them. So when you click it, it actually opens it up, and there's all your production files for your store. It's typically what you need to fulfill an order, because it's not some crazy custom thing. But if there's something that shows up there and you need more, let me know. I'll add it to you. You add to files in there. So that's just how you keep up with all your production and everything like that. Your shipping and labels, we do have a Shippo integration, so you can actually ship your your labels straight through here. You don't got to go do it yourself. You can just kind of same thing as Shopify, just ship it right through here. Quotes, this is for your own shop's behalf. It has nothing to do with Shopify really, but you can go in here and open up a quote, build whatever you need. You can sell literally anything you want. You can just make it a custom item. You can use our products. We have lots and lots of products for you to build off of. Some are templates and some are just actual like this is a blank product. So it's like, hey, this is this. If it was imported, this is what we're building on. This is what we're going to do. You just build out your custom item. You can add our products. All these are actually already built out for you for like custom signs and everything. This all works with Shopify. It's just more of a form type of buying compared to customizers, where they get to go in there and move everything around, design themselves. But this actually makes sales, and there's lots of them, which I'll show you in a minute. Not send this quote, and it emails directly from here. You can set up some integrations, which I'll show you, and it will send all your stuff from here. Is your proofs, so you can send your set up a proof, send to the customer, make sure they approve it before you print. It's pretty cut and dry. Customers, these are all your customers. It's essentially your CRM. So you can click this, go in here, and give me just a second. Okay, sorry. You can go in here and set up your customer, everything you need about them. All their orders will pop up over here. Find previous orders, mark VIP, email them directly from our system, create a quote, right from here, however you need to. Fully keeps up with all their stuff. All their files will be here, so you don't got to worry about going track the files now, as long as you save their production files here. Buyer accounts, these are going to be your wholesale buyers. or anyone that, really all your buyers, all your customers that buy from you, you can set up wholesale pricing for things and, you know, make them a wholesale buyer. So when they log into your account, they get, cheaper pricing based on the wholesale amounts that you configure. These are all the reviews. So I have this is going to be my Patch It Pro store that, you could literally get rid of Shopify, put it on here. I have another store. These are all my real reviews from Google, and you can configure this to make it look however you want. It's a lot more. I was real simple because I've just been testing it. And there's all your stuff, and then I have over here. This would be my real website that I run most things on. You land here, you go shop, and then this takes you to my Shopify store, which is where I host all these builders for us. So there's the gang sheet builder. I'm going to go down here to the patch builder. So I'm a customer. I'm going to start designing, and then this will be the customer interface where they log in, and it's real, more simple. It doesn't have all the AI. It doesn't have everything you need. It kind of walks them through the process. I might make it even more simple, but it's so that they can build their own patch right on your website. And then however, customize patch, add a card, and then add them to your cart and all that. And you just check out their Shopify. And this is anything you use that's, on our store that you would sell is how you would, that's what we take the usage fees on. So, again, there's all your reviews. You can pull them in. You can make your own testimonials if you have them written down or whatever, or saved. These are product reviews per product. So if you sell a bunch of patches, people are like, oh, he makes great patches. They would all fall under the patch product and FAQs. So that's going to be your order, stuff. Here's your products. This is what's on your actual store. We put a bunch of products on there. Like I was telling you, the templates, you can turn them off or on. But this is how you would, manage your products. There's our patches we made earlier. I'll show you. There's, the patch we made. So you can go there and say, hey, I want, the design or whatever. Patch design. There's the hat we made. Buy it right here. You can also suggest other things on your store. And again, we could set all this up for you. I know mine's not set up good because I change it all the time. I use my actual Shopify store in case anyone's wondering. It's not because this sucks, it's just because I have to have them both to show people. So I have it on both. So this is going to be how you configure all your customizers on your store, your actual builders and stuff like that, the sticker builder, laser grade patch builder, and all that. You do your pricing on the back end. You would set your base price, per square inch, minimum price, hat prices, all that. Categories, how you categorize your store, all your products. Materials. These you need is what you choose to make available on your actual builders. So like if you just want to sell rawhide, you need to unclick everything and only click rawhide. Otherwise, they're going to be able to buy every material on here. And you can upload your own materials as well here if you print your own texture background or something. Same thing with the hats and products. This is how you would go add the hats that are available on your store. If they're not, you need to go on here and configure all this. Package deals. This is if you want to sell 12 hats for $200 or whatever. You just do it through here for however you want. You can configure it all different ways, but it's just more of they upload an image, pick certain things that you kind of set up. Like, hey, I want just rawhide, black, white, material available with these 3 hats. You can set it up here, and then you can sell bulk packages. Inventory. So we're about to get on this here, start adding all this stuff, but I keep it somewhere else right now. But this is how you keep up with everything in your entire shop, from ink to materials to actual blanks, anything you need. You can keep up where you got it from, the vendor, everything. And then you can check in and out. So like if you're grabbing something, you can check it out. It's gonna check whatever. There's like I said, there's QR codes on everything too, so you can print out those stickers. You can just scan it with the QR code, bring it up, and then check it out real easy. You don't have to even open the app. And there is an app on the App Store if you're a Google user. I'm working on Apple right now, so you can get on the Google app, log in, and have an actual app on your phone, and you can manage all this, build, do whatever. It's not perfect for the builder. It's better for all this stuff, but it does work. I use it on my phone. So speaking of vendors, here's your vendors. I can't ever keep up with who I buy from where, from what, how much it was. This is how you need to start keeping up with it. You put all this in here, who you talk to, payment terms, your ratings, lead time, anything you need so you can keep up with, like, where did I get that, vinyl that we used that one time? Oh, it's right here. Oh, they sucked on, it took 3 months to get it, so like, let's try to avoid them, whatever. Storefront, this is where you would go in and you would build your store. It's really easy, but again, we can do it all for you. You just type in your stuff right here, press AI enhance, it's going to rewrite it, so like actually makes sense. Yes, if you buy this 79 a month, I'm giving you 1 credit for the partner store, just because it's really sorry for taking so long to get it on Shopify, but it'll let you connect one store, have one partner store available on your account, and then you can use whatever you want in that partner store. But anytime you make a transaction using our tools, we charge you a usage fee, which I'll show you here in a minute. And so like if you make this store, you don't sell one thing ever, you did not lose any money. It's completely risk free. So you're not paying for a Shopify bill plus 15 bucks for this product customizer app, plus this because I want more variants than what Shopify will allow, plus hey, I want an announcement bar on my site, but Shopify natively doesn't do that, so I got to pay $2 here. All the subscriptions are all packed in one here. That was my goal. And again, if you use something and it ain't on here and it can't do it, let me know. I'll add it. I'm not going to steal someone's idea, but I'll add a feature where it works within our ecosystem. And again, here's you can fully customize your store here, and they can get really good. There's a few people that have good ones. I don't go into customer accounts to show demos, but there are a few that have been built that I've been super impressed with. Like mine, I'm building an app, to be honest. I'm building software. I don't have time to go build this website. I barely had time to put my website together. So, and then here's branding, SEO. It's just kind of the back end stuff. You can hook up your own domain here. So, the one I showed you was hosted at Patch It Pro. This is how you'd hook up yours, and this is what you would promote. And then embeds and just kind of technical stuff. Your design library, this is how you would, manage what you're selling on your store if you want to sell designs or whatever. And then just kind of like, yeah, it's just stuff that if you want to go and build gang sheets on the back end for people or something like that, or build a design and assign it to someone, you would do it here if you don't want to use, if you weren't using the standalone. Your marketing is your discount codes and stuff. I'll probably do something different with that tab, put it in settings, or make marketing better. So finance, this is kind of what I was talking about on the payments. So everyone's going to have a wallet. It's called a MakerPay wallet right here. And it's a Stripe Connect account that you set up, and it's just where it's just your wallet for all this, so that whenever we take our usage fees, we pay you out here. If it's based through our thing, whatever. It depends if you're using Shopify, they do it, but if you're using our system, this is how it would be handled. It's just like our Shopify wallet, but our fees are automatically taken out, the usage fees, before you get them. As far as I know, and I think you get a little alert whenever you send something up. I'm not sure on that exact quote thing. Let me look into that. Let me look into that, because maybe not, because it's still using the tool. But let me try to figure that out for sure, because I want to be clear on that. I don't want to say yes or no. So the reason you have this is you can have a wallet, you can keep it in here, you can automatically cash out to your bank, whatever. These are all your transaction analytics. I did a wallet because I'm actually going to make us a supplier where you can go into here and we will get anything drop shipped to you. If you don't know where to get it or whatever, I have lots and lots of wholesale accounts with everyone and accounts with everyone. I've been doing this a few years, so I'm kind of like trying to develop that relationship really well. This is just hats, but you would be able to come in here and shop for whatever you need, grab it from our store. You don't have to deal with SNS if you don't want to. You don't have to do all that. We'll just get it drop shipped straight to you. Speaking of SNS, so here's all our connections and our integrations. This is coming soon. I had some issues with it. I put the wrong thing on an application, and they basically locked me out for 7 days. So it's me 7 days before I get the QuickBooks reapproved. Go high level if you use this. It's a CRM. If you want to set a texting from here, if you want to send out your emails so that standard they come out through Patch It Up Pro. Like if you send something that's going to say Patch It Up Pro, send it to a notification. If you set up the your own email address and all that, it's going to send from your email, and you kind of handle it within your own stuff with your own brand at the top and everything. This didn't work the way I wanted it to. I'm not gonna lie. And then this is going to be the SNS and the Sanmar, integrations and stuff like that, so you can actually pull in your live numbers whenever through your products. And then Shopify, same thing. I got 7 Shopify, whatever. Saying these are synced. These are the things I made whenever we were making the hats and stuff. I just haven't pushed them over completely, I guess. And just different sales channels that we're integrating in, so you can actually connect your TikTok shop, connect Square, connect Meta Shop, connect your Etsy account, all that, push it there as well. It's not just going to be Shopify. So you can have your Shopify store, then have all your other little places that you sell. So these are your payments. These are going to be the fees that I speak of with the usage fees. We encourage more bulk orders because our system takes money to run. That's kind of why I say that, Jessica, about regardless of what you're doing with it, our system, it does take, I'm holding the data to send to the customer, to build the quote, to do everything. So I got to figure out something on that. But, it does, every movement you do in here costs me money. Whether it's pennies, fractions of a penny, everything costs me money. So this is why I encourage everyone, go for higher sales, go for, bigger orders, which you should be doing anyways, because those one-offs aren't going to do anything for you. Typically, sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't. And so, you can lock in a higher order at 4%, which is just like a little bit higher credit card fee. And then these are just general settings if you want to go in and do all this. This print on demand will actually be, it's in, working on it, but where you could become a printer or a maker, maybe maker on demand is what I call it, where you can put your stuff on here, similar like the Lone Star Roundup, but you can just advertise your services, not products. And so people can reach out and be like, hey, this person does this, this, and this. You'll have a rating system. You'll have all this stuff. Someone can, hey, I need help outsourcing this. Hey, I'm behind. Can you help me knock out this order? It would all be here documented. And then all of this is just other settings and stuff in general. So if you want, that's more or less the whole platform. Any questions? Y'all can turn on those cameras and mics, whatever. It makes it a lot easier. It's really Q&A now, so. Also, what I would advise people, if you like it, one, please go post about it in social media. I'm sure you see me talking about it to other people. That helps me more than anything because I am a small business. I developed this myself. I'm trying to, get this going. And word of mouth and just trust, within other makers helps more than anything. More than you could ever imagine. And I created a group as well if y'all want to join that. And, it's just building other makers up and, helping each other on engagement on posts and stuff like that.
I do have a marketing background. I know a lot about marketing, and I know a bunch about software. So, and I've been a maker for a while, so I really do know this stuff. Uh, if you want to leg up, apply to be an affiliate. Like I was saying, it's 30% recurring. You don't get anything on the usage fees, but recurring on the $79 or wherever it's at the time, I'm not guaranteed it's staying at 79. It's going to stay there for a bit, but whenever it does move, if it does move, you're locked in at the price you paid when you start. You're not never going to charge you anymore. But if you cancel and come back, you're going to get the higher price. But that 30% can also grow on the recurring. So if they're paying, 79 now, I think that's roughly $23 or something like that. They would, and I bumped the price double. Now you're making $50 on the recurring. I'm not going to change that. So just let everyone. There's a full dashboard when you go in here on the affiliate side of things. So you can get in here and you can get links to share stuff. You can literally get setup guides, marketing material, images to help push it if you want. Yeah, they're very very surface level. I'm gonna go back. I did this a long time ago to be honest, but see your commissions, see your referrals, get your links, see your payout schedule. There's it's available on my MakerPay wallet. You know, so I've been testing it. So there's your link that you would send people. But again, that's it in a nutshell. Anyone got any questions? Any suggestions, improvements, things you want me to go back over? We appreciate everyone's time. Uh, when I feel like it, I'll just get whenever it's honestly, it's just a lot. It's to take in, and like I really want to make sure that 100% the patch stuff and all that works without any issues and everyone's happy since that's been kind of a staple of everything. I'm gonna let this Shopify roll out, kind of let it see what happens because there could be issues. There's always issues with something new, but I don't want to roll out too much too fast because I've done that and it overwhelms people. And so let's get the Shopify and the stores all working good, and then all the other mockups will probably be next. The other builders will be next. You can visually see I'm not lying about having them. They're all here. And they work. I don't like how they work because I'm super 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 picky about how things need to be. Obviously, I literally developed every single workflow in this. From my thought process, my original ideas. The things that I was doing in my shop day to day that I hated doing. So like it's not something I copied and ripped from someone else. Those of you that know why I say that is why I'm saying that. But it's I'll go in here and add anything you can possibly think of if it makes sense to me and the other users, and or if there's an issue, I'll get it fixed. I don't know about UV Energize yet. I'm trying to get into them, but this takes a lot of my time. I spend probably 12 to 14 hours a day realistically behind this computer, working on this. And so I don't always look at everything that's going on in the real world, and so some of those things just pass me by. But we will be at next level. So if, come say hi. We have a booth. I'll give you, a demo and everything like that, inside. We'll be pushing the NTV shop stuff I do as well. We're about to make a really big push. The guy, my partner that I, do the NTV shop stuff with, he's a director, producer, does movies and everything. Well, he's coming on board next week to help run our live stream. But then we'll start putting out one episode a week of kind of like, our shop. And it's going to be funny, more of like a sitcom. But then we'll have our 3 live streams, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays during the day, where you can pop in at any time, learn something, talk, whatever, shoot the shit. And he'll be running those, and then he'll use all the footage and his camera to actually film an actual episode and tune into every week. And if you've seen NTV Shops, they're pretty cool. If you haven't, please go check it out. It's just NTV Shops. It's in, not M. So his name is Envision Films. So we did, NTV, and it's like got the MTV Cribs feel, but for shops. And we are going to be making a run here soon once this all gets kind of once the dust settles down a little bit and doing the shops episode again. So like you could sign up, and if we're in your area, we can go go do one. Obviously, it would be free. We'd have to pay compensate for our time, but in return, you get a lot of content. You get an episode of shops. You get all kinds of stuff, all kinds of exposure. So we have a few things going on. I mean, I have some other stuff that I'm about to drop. Like I don't know if people, this is a CRM for like makers. Like to take care of all your shop stuff and everything like that. I have another CRM that has all like the AI answering for your phones, the AI answering for your social media, and all that I'm packaging up right now. I'm about to make it available as well. It's more for marketing purposes, so it'll be a separate kind of thing. But if you're interested in that, please shoot me a message. It's really actually, I have someone I set it up on yesterday, and they love it. And he got a lot of bang for his buck because I was being nice, but it does so much. It literally, like, you don't got to worry about answering your phones. I'll show you where, if you want to check it out, actually go to SJG Print Design, click up SJG Maker AI, and it's $49 a month plus the usage fees for the phones or whatever it costs. It depends how much you use it. That's really what it comes down to. But literally, you can go test it, go try it. Text or call that number, and ask it some maker questions and see what you think. See its outcome. Let me know. Like, we can set this up for your shop where it grabs your phone calls, grabs your quoting, everything. It does all your customer relations, and then like it schedules all your social media. So like anyone knows how I schedule so much, or I plan so much social media. Here you go. It's your CRM. All your customers will be there. You can put notes on them. You can contact them, and I help you set it up. So or you can there's different packages. Obviously, I can do a full setup. I can build you a funnel, build your website, whatever you want. Based on what you need. So like we do completely set up this account for $500. I can build your website for $1,500. It's really kind of straight to the point. I built this website, so that you can see I do know how to build some websites. So there's like a crew ready order, offer that we offer in Austin, where people come and they pay $150, and you get your whole logo design. You get your, we do their logo design. We kind of lock them in with us. It's to take care of all that, like, back and forth. And then, from there, we start giving them, different orders, but we have their company's logos locked in. We have, where they want the placement. We have multiple things to kind of like, increase the bulk sales, because, it is very saturated and competitive right now in our world. There's a lot of people doing it. And so, you've got to kind of like focus on the right thing. And our focus is companies and B2B. So we have that, but then again, we have our whole homepage that just offers everything. This is like our live that I'm talking about next week. We'll have like, we have a resource area. You go check out all this stuff. There's like learning guides, resources, shop tours, our episodes. It's our whole live that's about to pop off. So there's a lot about to happen. Someone motivated me. Just it's the easiest way of saying it. We'll put all this stuff, all our videos will be here, everything like that, as well as on YouTube and everything. But again, I was just kind of showing what I'm doing and what we can help y'all do if you need the help. Obviously, I don't work for free, but I'm very affordable in the big scheme of things, and I do know what I'm doing. Like, these are all our real reviews from everywhere. Literally, they just pop it all in here. Work we've done. I need to add some more to that, but you can go here to learn and what kind of tools we use and stuff, and just different things. So like I'm literally gonna just put everyone on to like what I'm doing, since people want to try to steal. I'll just put it all out there and can't steal what everyone has. You know how to do it. Just make sure you take care of me. Any questions, any feedback, anything like that? My voice is kind of going out after this. So no one's got anything. I'm about to hop off here and enjoy my Friday. Don't be afraid to reach out. I tell everyone, please make a post about it. Like, I know it's kind of annoying, but go make a post, please. Just say that, you did the demo, what you thought of it. If you hate it, message me. Let me redeem myself. But, if you don't, please go post about it, talk about it, put it in groups. It's sign up for the affiliate plan if you're already a member, and go post about it, talk to people about it, share your affiliate fee. Get free signups and you pay for your account. And now you have free software to do whatever you want with. You have a good weekend. Look up my name. It's Sean Gillowood. I'm all over Facebook. I post quite a bit, and I'm pretty active. Just go at me if you have any questions. Y'all take care. Have a good night. Dave.